you might be in a position to, get to a game 7 again. But I think that right now he's lost his way a little bit. The pressure is so overwhelming. It's so overwhelming. And I think that right now, if you go to Pickard, he can play that way as far as ante up and you can rally behind him. But I think that's their only opportunity. Give Skinner a rest here to take a deep breath.
What'd you think of when they pulled him?
Yeah, I know the guys on the panel were talking about it in between periods, and I think it was Kelly Rudy that said, I'd leave him in there to battle. But are you still in it? Are you still in it?
I'm DeBoer. At like 2 or 3 in that game, I'd have been
Would you have
okay.
pulled them after 40 minutes? Would you have pulled them and not get to that next goal?
Yeah. Yes. Full body of work. Yes. He hasn't had a great series. It's almost like Skinner is one of those guys. Like when you see this here, guys,
he's on his belly at the hash
right
marks.
now. The first goal of the game. There's the Verhaeghe
That's
one.
a
But the
nasty
first goal
shot,
of the
though,
game,
Valley.
I know, but he was way off, Borny. Like he didn't have angle. He didn't have squareness. He was deep. You're not going to get a save there. But again, the first goal, it's there's a lot there, and it's a broken play, but he's all over the place, and it's the panic button is being hit. When a goalie has a game that they're not happy with, it's mostly because they abandoned their game, their style. They didn't play with their stuff. And as soon as he chases outside the post like that, that's not the way he wants to play. He knows it, and that would really infuriate him because, look, I didn't even play my game. Guys, there's so much pressure. I'm going to tell you a quick story. All right, so it's 2009. We are up 3-1 against Washington, and we are handing them the series because we were about to anyway, because Torts throws the water bottle into the stands and gets suspended for a game. Now, that hurt everybody, and I remember saying to my wife, you know what, we're up 3-1 right now, but it doesn't feel like it because that's just how well Hank is playing at this point. So now Torts is not our coach behind the bench because of the incident, and I go into game 5, halfway through the game, I finish it. I go through at halfway point of game 6 and I finish it. And now we're playing game 7 in Washington. And you'll get a kick out of this, Kipper, because it's Rammer, our trainer. In,
Jim Ramsey.
He comes up to me, Jim Ramsey comes up to me before, probably 30 seconds before warm-ups. I'm just about to put my helmet on. And he goes, Valley, come over here. And he opens up the training room a crack and he goes, Hank's not good. You're playing. And I was like, whoa, Rammer. Are you serious? Like I might have just crapped my pants. And he goes, I'm going to go tell Torts. I'm like, whoa. Before you tell Torts, at least see if you can find Benny, our goalie coach. And he finds Benny, brings him in, talks. Like Hank was just going through it. I mean, he was like Denny Lemieux because he, we shouldn't have been at 3-1, and then he was getting torched in 5 and 6. And now all of a sudden I'm going in. And finally Ramber comes back and he says, Valley, Hank's going to try it in warm up. We go into warm up, and I'm telling you, he doesn't even touch a puck. Like it just wasn't going well. And I know Hank better than anybody at this point. I'm like, I'm probably playing tonight.
Yeah.
And Rammer says again, Valley, be ready. I don't know if you noticed, but he wasn't looking too good in warm up. So I'm like, yeah, no,
Yeah, I noticed.
Of course I saw that, Rammer. Thanks, Tips. So, anyways, we go into the second period. We're losing 1-0 in the second period on a flutter. We end up tying it 1-1. There's a wrist shot at the end of the third period that goes over Hank's shoulder. We end up losing this game 2-1. It was actually Fedorov from distance. And I never forget it, but I get on the plate afterwards and Gober and Chris Drury come over. They're like, Valley, what'd you think about that goal? Do you think Hank should have had it? I'm like, look at these guys like, do you have any idea what I've been through?
Yeah. The emotional roller coaster is heavy.
No, but it's like, you get so banged up mentally, physically. Hank was just, carried our team for probably 30 games to get there in the first place, overwhelmed in the first round series. And you don't know, I'm just saying, like if you've seen the best guys go through it the way I have in a lot of cases, I've seen Roberto and Rick DiPietro and, I've talked to you about Jason LaBarbera, like I've seen these guys manage it and it can be just so heavy. I just think that at this stage, you know what you do with Skinner? You bring him in. And if you're the coach, you bring him in, you say, Stu, how you feeling? Do you think you're all right for the next game? And if he hesitates for a split second, he's not okay. you need to look at him in the eye that way. And I've told you guys stories of being in the coaching room where we bring a guy in and say, hey, you're playing again tomorrow. And they say, well, you said I only had to play Friday night.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, guess what? You're not playing
Yeah,
now.
change their mind.
Wow.
So, you need to know. And mentally, I'm just trying to explain to you how hard it can be and what it can do to the best.
You're watching and listening to Steve Valiquette, analyst for MSG, CEO of ClearSight Analytics. So you can speak of this, playing the position, but all of this talk about Bennett and Florida bumping the goalie, did it get to the point where it maybe, I don't know, just absorbed him a little bit too much? Could that be part of it? Like, I'm watching, and it's just not Skinner. Bob's gotten into it too, where it's like you're
well,
now.
Bob's always been like that.
It's looking like a
thing.
soccer game with some of these guys trying to draw penalties, and I think it's brutal. But could this have just overplayed its hand in Skinner a little bit? The constant talk about bumping of a goalie.
I don't. You know what, Kipper? It doesn't bother anybody when they're in the game. It really doesn't. Geez, I probably shouldn't tell this story, but I will. I was.
We like it when you do.
Yeah. In the OHL. I was playing against this kid named Chris George, who's like 6'6", just nasty, 250 minutes, playing for Barrie at the time. And I came under him and hit him in the undercarriage, and like he went down, and I heard from his teammates after the game, he wants to kill me. Like, he physically wants to kill me because he was puking after the game because I hit him in the nuts so hard. And I never did that again. Like, I didn't do it again. Now, I sort of did it because I knew I wasn't going to play against him again.
Very safe on the bench.
Yes, smart man.
But like, I remember seeing him at what's that bar in London, Jack's. I see him in the summertime at Jack's, and man, I think he's coming for me. And I'm just getting ready to fight. I'm like, oh great, now I gotta fight George. I'm gonna get the snot beat out of me. And he comes up to me, he's ready to say something, and I just hand him my beer. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Like, no hard feelings. But I'm telling you,
Did it
I
work?
didn't do that again. I did not do that ever again. I apologize to him, Chris. If you're listening, man, I really apologize for that. And you just, in the back of your mind as a goalie, you don't go there because it can go past the line where it interferes with your focus. And look, Bob, when I watch Bob play right now, I'm very impressed with how quickly he sets his feet and how active he gets out of his crease. Like, we're talking about the reverse there from Stu coming out slow. I would advise Stu, don't use that move, buddy. Honestly, just stay on your feet the whole time. And whereas with Bob, I'm watching him force out, set his feet in the white paint and be solid. And he's forcing a lot of shots wide because of it. And he's so big. Like, you see that save right there? I know that not everybody can see it, but it's a save that Bob misses with his glove, but because he's out